Meeting to order. Our first order of business is our financial statement. Entertain a motion for approval.
Make a motion to approve the financial statement.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor? Nay. Probably said yea. Have a regular meeting, minutes. You approve on those?
I'll make a motion approving.
I'll second.
Okay, on this session,
I'm going to abstain from that vote because I wasn't here last month, so I'm going to abstain from that meeting of the minutes.
everybody else okay with it?
Yep.
All right. This is all that we have for this section of this meeting, so I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn the section.
I'll make a motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Meeting adjourned. Now, at this time, we'll get the swearing in of our elected officials. So, you guys step up. Where you want it?
Raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Frankie Till. I, Joe Brashear,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess all the qualifications
that I possess all the qualifications
for the office of Alderman
for the office of Alderman, Ward 1,
as prescribed by law,
as prescribed by law,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
That I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Missouri,
and of the state of Missouri,
and of the state of Missouri,
the provisions of all laws of this state,
the provisions of all laws of this state,
the provisions of all laws of this state,
affecting cities of this class,
affecting cities of this class,
and the ordinances of the city of Morehouse,
and the ordinances of the city of Morehouse,
and the ordinances of the city of Morehouse,
and faithfully demean myself in office
faithfully demean myself in office,
and faithfully demean myself in office,
So help me God.
so help me God.
so help me God.
Sign those for me. Show me that yours, the bottom packet is yours to keep. I'll seal them and return them to you.
Sure.
Okay, if everybody's ready, we'll start our new session. I'll call this meeting to order. Our first order of business here is the appointment to positions to the Alderman. Probably just retain basically, make a couple of changes here, but retain Chris as Mayor Pro Tem. Carl will move to Finance. Joe, be the Street. Randy will stay sign. And I'll entertain a motion for that.
Make a motion to approve
Need a second?
I'll second.
favor?
Aye.
Right. Also have a resignation from the Housing Board, Marcia Beck. No, I'm sorry, it's not Housing Board. It's from our treasurer. We're required to keep a treasurer. Marcia Beck's been our treasurer, and she's resigning effective immediately. And I did find someone else who's willing to replace her in Linda Henson. So, first of all, entertain a motion to accept the resignation from Marcia Beck.
I make a motion to accept Marcia Beck's resignation.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And the appointment for Linda Henson.
I'll make a motion for Belinda Henson.
Need a second?
I'll second.
Did I hear a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The next thing we have is the street light agreement with Ameren. It's basically the same thing that we signed with them 20 years ago. It's quite lengthy. Instead of reading it, if anyone's interested and wants copies, we do have copies available at the City Hall that the public can have. There's no change as far as what we are operating with. It's still basically the same.
Are the prices locked in for the 20 years? Pete, do you know
As far as,
the prices that they charge?
well, basically on our part, yeah.
There is one light that's out on Cole and Poplar I was informed about today.
Okay.
So,
Those like that, whenever you're told, just call in, the girls call that in to them and they take care of it.
I noticed this is dated April 19th, and the agreement goes into effect July 1st. In the future, when the city hall gets this kind of information, could it be sent to us, especially something this lengthy,
Yeah.
that we have time to review it and ask questions?
Understand that, yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we need to motion that out.
I'll make a motion for approval.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, also, I think everybody got a copy of employee handbook. I'm not asking to take action on it tonight because it's also lengthy. But what I would ask is that everyone review it. If you have changes, additions, or things that we may need to delete, that can just put together in hopes that we can, anytime we have a new employee or even for the existing employees, that they have a copy, so that way they understand what we do and understand here as well. And what I'd like to do is bring this back up at our work session for July. And at that time, if you have any changes, comments, or additions that you want to interject into it, we'll make those then, and then we'll reprint it and try to have it ready for the July regular.
All right, it says here on the front page, ordinance. So you want to make this in ordinance format?
It's basically a policy, don't have to be an ordinance.
Okay.
It's a policy. Pardon me? Yeah, we will have an ordinance, but it'll be to pass that.
Okay, because I know with the new codification of ordinances, they charge $15 for every page that's added
Yeah.
to it. And this
Yeah.
is 19 pages,
Yeah,
so.
no, we're not
that'll be
making,
$285.
the only ordinance we'll have is whenever that goes into effect.
Okay. Who wrote it? Who wrote the handbook?
I kind of went to some of it. Heather put together a lot of it. A lot of it come out from ideas from other cities, how they're functioning and operating. So we kind of gathered information that way. And like I said, it's open for discussion, so we can change it if we need to, or if there's something there that maybe we don't like or don't hit our criteria that we change.
Understood.
Okay. One thing on any other business, we had a problem with Gray Ridge. Gray Ridge has been using a tremendous amount of water. They had a leak, and we were thinking that maybe it might have been our meter that was going crazy or something. So we've had everything in the world checked out on our end. They checked everything out on their end. They finally did find a leak inside the culvert going through somewhere. But at either rate, their water bill was just enormous. It was somewhat like $10,000. Anyhow, they come up and paid us $6,000 of it, and that depleted their account. They have no money left in their account. So anyhow, I'm bringing this before the board because normally what we do with our own citizens, once a year, if someone has a leak, once a year we make an adjustment. Can't do it every month because people won't fix the water leaks, and that's the reason we don't do it. But if an individual has a water leak, if they get that thing fixed, then we try to make an adjustment so that way it won't eat them up bad with the water bill. So what I'm asking the board here is, do we want to be gracious? I don't know if she gave you a copy of what the bill is.
No.
Okay. Let me pass this down to you so you can review it. On the front page, it actually shows what their bill was, what they paid, what their balance is. And so anyhow, it is something there for us to think about. They've been with us now for, I think, like 8 years. They never asked us for anything. One thing that they did fail to do is that we're required, any time that we make a change on their rates, is to give them a 90-day notice. Now, when we was giving our citizens rate increases on the water rate, we were sending them a notice 90 days out, letting them know. And so what we were doing, we was raising them in accordance with what we supposed to on their part. They failed on their part to give their increase. So they're still carrying the same rate with their people as they were before. And that's one reason the funding is not where it should be. But
Are they going to address that, or?
Do they have out there at County Line Road for the master meter? Is that a radio read or electronic meter?
no, they
It's
read.
still, analog.
Yeah, because that was, no, I'm sorry.
It's a digital meter that gives a flow and a daily count to the water plant,
But it's not a radio reader.
but it's not a radio read meter. You
Yeah.
still have to manually read it.
What it does, it tells us at the water plant what that meter's doing.
It tells you at the water plant how many gallons are flowing through that meter.
Right.
Would you have noticed a spike at the water plant?
We did.
In
notice
daily
that.
consumption?
That's
We
when we
did.
started on 500.
We were letting them know as we went along that there's a problem. And for a while, they kind of thought maybe we had a faulty meter.
Now, the vendor's supposed to be tweaking the program and adding that master meter count to another section on that grid too, so then we'll be able to read it remotely from the water plant.
What's their bill average, do you know, money-wise? Do you know, Heather?
Around 6,000 to 7,000.
Did they say they were going to address
Yes.
They've done their increases.
Yeah. The thing is that they're right now not capable of paying the entire amount. And of course, I talked to Scott, he come into the office. He says if there's anything that the city's willing to help us with, we'd appreciate it, because, they figured it was their problem, but they couldn't find it. And I did get, about 2 weeks ago, I did get an email from them. He sent me a photo where they found the problem. And they had been looking. We actually thought that they had a problem Well, I just think that whatever, however gracious that we can be. Jack?
Just something to add to this, in the past, we had the old water plant down there. Anytime we've had problems, our guys up here, they've not hesitated one bit to send their guy over here to help fix leaks or whatever needs to be done
So they're giving us manpower?
at no cost.
So, you know, it's been a kind of a generous thing both ways, so.
So what you're saying is they have an outstanding balance of 4,305. That's quite a bit of money.
It is. It is. If we can't do nothing to help them, we need to at least work with them as far as trying to get it to where when they can recuperate, they can.
What do we do for our citizens whenever they have
She generally tries to adjust it back to what their normal, you know, if, say for instance, if you're a minimal user, she usually tries to get it somewhere back into that. If you're, say your water bill runs $80 a month on the average for the year, they're trying to get you back in that.
Okay.
That's what we normally try to do.
Why can't we get Judy to give us their average monthly usage for, let's just say, the past year, and see where it falls in line? Heather said, just thinking off the top of her head, their normal average is between 6,000 and 7,000 a year. If that's consistent, and they paid 6,000, but we need a baseline of what their average consumption has been monthly for the past year. And then maybe we can get that information and then discuss it in our work session. And then we can take it to next month's meeting and vote on it.
That'll work. That'll work. We'll get to the paperwork.
Understood, thank you.
Okay. That's the only thing that I had on any other business, so.
I just have a lot of property ordinance violations, but I'll get those to you in the next week or two.
Okay, can you coordinate that with Jackie? Jackie has sent out a bunch of them, so
Yeah.
making sure that, whatever you've written out, he may already have a ticket written out or letters. Okay. Carl?
We still got a trailer that's been burned out since last summer, and it's still standing. And house trailer down there on Marshall Street, they still ain't strapped nothing. I mean, if we get a tornado come through here, it's gonna put it on somebody's house, or it's gonna flip it over, and it's gonna be people trapped inside it. And I was wondering what we can do about that.
If we give that guy on Marshall Street a ticket,
I know we're sending letters, but I think it's time.
give the ticket.
I mean, because truthfully, I mean, somebody gets trapped in there, Jack. I mean, a house trailer ain't gonna stand up against a tornado anymore, no matter what. But if we get some wind in here, 80, 90 mile an hour, and something hits it flat on, you know what's gonna happen. If it
We
don't
got
flip
another
it-
one on Boone Street that hasn't been underpinned either,
Well,
but that gentleman, I believe, is still in the hospital, if I'm not mistaken.
Tony's in bad shape. I know Mark's been over there cleaning up, so.
Trailer, you're talking about the burnout, you're talking about the one on Cole?
Yeah.
That's scheduled along with their houses, if we can ever get him over here to tear these houses down.
I'll remind him.
Have you seen the photo?
Yeah.
All right. What else you got, folks?
And the rest of it's just the lift stations, if we can't figure out some way to get 2 motors in each one. That could be something we could talk about later.
Work session that out. Joe?
Yes, sir. I have a few things I'd like to talk about. My first order of business is the meeting minutes. I would like to see those be more thorough, go into more detail on the discussion that the members of the board made, and discussion that if there's any signups and members of the audience make. They're pretty watered down and don't go into any detail. And our meeting minutes are the city's official record, and it's history. So if somebody looks back, whether 1 month from now or 10 years from now, we need to see what the discussion was made, not just the votes that were made. And I'd like to make a motion requesting that the meeting minutes be more thorough and as close to word as possible. Word for word as possible.
I can't do that per MML. If you want it word for word, their suggestion was to hire a transcriber.
Okay, do you use a program like DragonSpeak or something along
No.
those lines?
No.
Okay, well, something that we all need to realize is MML is it's not a governing body. All they can do is make recommendations to the board, and it's in the board's purview how detailed our minutes should be.
I think this is a matter for discussion that we can put somewhere, because it's something that we need to vote out. And, it's not on the agenda to begin with, but we can put that in the work session as well, so that way, see how the rest of the board members feel.
Well, my understanding is when it comes to the agenda, that things can be motioned out and voted on as long as it's not something that affects citywide. So how we govern our minutes and things of that nature can be motioned without being on the itinerary.
So in other words, you just want to make a motion that you have discussion about this.
Well, no, we can have all the discussion we want. That's what this time is for.
We usually try to hit all that at a regular working session, so that way we can discuss it and be free to speak out, whatever.
Okay.
We can sit here all night long if we're going to sit and cover every little detail.
Well, I get that, but that's our duties, is to make sure that we go over things and not just wait month to month. I have a motion on the floor.
Second.
You can't make a motion for that.
Excuse me, I can't make a motion that our minutes be more thorough?
You can make it. Go ahead. You need to ask for a motion. Or I need to ask for a motion for that.
Okay. I would like you to make a motion requesting that meeting minutes be more thorough and as close to word for word as possible.
I think myself, before we motion out, that I think we need to have discussion about this.
Okay. Well, can we have discussion about it tonight?
Not tonight.
Okay. Moving on. I would like to request that the monthly financial reports include a cover sheet that lists the check number, the date the check was written, the check number, who the check was issued to, and the total dollar amount. In our financial report, there may be a check number and it's broke down 5 or 6 times. There should be, that one check number should be a line item across on the cover sheet so that we don't have to go through and add up and then tally it for what each check is written for.
Can I please say something? Can I please say something about that situation? The reason you're not seeing it all in one place is because it's divided up a lot of times between different departments. And when she puts it in there, she has to put it in the department from where it goes out. If she can't put it all on one line.
I understand. I'm saying that, I'm asking for a cover sheet so that we don't have to go through and add up Ameren for the same check number, go through and, okay, Ameren's here, same check number. Ameren's here, same check number, and then add it all together. She can break it down however she would like in her financials. What I'm asking for is a cover sheet so that we don't have to we can look at it at just a cursory glance and know what each specific check number totals to. You know, if you look there, you'll see Presto X. And you have to go through there and add it up each time. And it totals $60-something, but it's brought down to $10.
What Joe's saying.
Paying it out of different departments, is what that is.
Yes, I understand.
Right. What Joe's saying is it just makes it easier for us aldermen to see Ameren UE, $4,000 or whatever, instead of Ameren UE, 1,300 here, 1,100 here, 500 here. As an alderman, you have to go through there and add up how much we spent that month on Ameren.
So in other words, you just want
Yeah.
Ameren UE, one total.
Yeah, whatever one individual check number is, what it totals. And I know she breaks it down out of departments. That's how she does that is fine. I just would like a cover sheet added to our financials so that it's just one check number I can go across and I know the total.
Okay. We'll try to get that lined up.
Okay. And I would also like to see in our monthly alderman's packet, invoices and receipts for checks that have been issued. You know, credit card statements, office supply receipts. We should have a receipt for things that are purchased. You know, the board controls the purse string, and we have to be responsible for taxpayer money. And if we don't know what it was spent for, I have an issue with that. So what I'm requesting is that each month in our alderman's packet, we get receipts and invoices for the checks that have been written. And she can scan it in and email me. You know, we don't have to, I'll print it out at my house, but scan in, and that way it's twofold. It helps, everything's already digitized. I mean, it's 2020. Everything should be in a digital format to begin with. And if someone makes a public records request, they're not being priced out of information. The information is already scanned and it's in a PDF format where all an individual or a board member has to do is request a certain month's alderman packet, and the information is already scanned in digital format.
Let's try to see what we can do with that too. That's going to be a new phase that's going to require a lot of copy or whatever.
Okay, my next issue of business is in the following month's alderman packet, I would like to see the approved minutes that were voted on the month prior with signatures and city seal.
That usually after they're approved, there is a copy that's filed. Because after the board approves it, then I usually sign it, she signs it and attests it. And there is a copy of that's on record. It's just that copy don't ever make it out. I mean, I've got copies of minutes just like you do.
Mm-hmm.
But every copy that I have don't have my signature, her signature, or the seal.
Yes.
But, you know, if you want a copy of that, no, that shouldn't be a problem getting a copy of that.
Understood. We can get that in the following month's alderman packet.
Okay?
Okay, appreciate it. All right. Okay, and on our financial reports, I would like to see each month in the financial report a breakdown of the bank account, what account it is, for example, capital improvement account, general fund account, listing the total dollar amount available in those accounts with our financial report.
That's in there.
Well,
Every
well-
account that we
That's it.
pay out of is right there. We pay out of general and water and sewer.
Well, I didn't get the financial in my alderman's package this month, but what I'm seeing on the financial reports is the money off the proposed total budget. I've never seen in the alderman packet how much money is available in capital improvement fund.
Never seen it, is that what you say?
Yes, it's not,
It's not in your financial.
it's not in the financial report,
I mean, that,
you know.
it's just a matter of getting a copy of that.
Okay, because every month we need to know how much money we have to operate on. Pardon me?
We don't operate out of capital improvement.
I know that, Heather. I'm just saying that we should know what's in capital improvement fund. We should know what's in, how much money is available in each account every month. Okay. Marilyn, what is the status of the water project? Has that been closed out?
No,
No?
it's basically, it's done. I think it's just a matter of paperwork being brought up to speed, make sure that everything's in agreement with everything, so.
Okay, and doing the walk around, the Board of Aldermen go around and we check off that everything was done? Because when I was campaigning, talking to certain residents, they still have holes in their yard. Over there by Mr. Larry Schmidt's, the lift station there's still a big pile of dirt that they didn't get cleaned up. And I guess also before that could be closed out, there was 2 years worth of audits, the $15,000 that was in the project monies to do audit on the water project.
Yeah, that all Whitney will take care of all that.
Okay. Well, can we try to get Whitney scheduled to come into our next regular board meeting? And if she's not available on July 13th, can we schedule a special session where she can attend?
Probably better if we do a special session.
Special session, understood. Okay. And I guess when we get the meeting with her, I still need to find out who authorized the 2 withdrawals totaling over $90,000 from the capital improvement fund in October of 2019. And then who was the individual that made the fund transfers? Because I'm confused on why there was there was 2 different transfers made or withdrawals out of capital improvement, and they're a week apart. So need to get that, if Whitney's the one that can answer that, if she sent a letter to the city stating that had to be paid right away, but I'd like to figure out that, what went on there. Then my next order of business is, what is the status of Stephanie Pulaski's condemnation? I know in the March meeting, last meeting I was able to attend, she had asked me to come and inspect it and get the condemned sign off of her house. Because I'm kind of curious, because she was never given a reason why it was condemned, what city ordinance or state statute she violated, her property was in violation of. So I'd like to see if I can get with you maybe tomorrow and we can contact her and get a date set up, get over there and get that inspected. Okay. Next question I have is, years ago, the city used to have 2 flag stands, and it had the Missouri flag and the United States flag. Does the city still have those, the flag, at least the flag stands, or the flood get them?
They were in the old, what used to be community building there, last time that I seen them. I don't know if the flood got them there or what, but I haven't seen them since we actually left out of that place.
Well, can we try to run down at least the flag stands? And then my final order of business is, I'd like to get a work session scheduled tonight. You know, go ahead and, since we're all here, try to get a date locked down.
Just have to figure out when everybody's available. You talk about pretty soon, or?
Well, at least in between now, next month's board meeting. I mean, we got a lot of things that,
We generally try to have one the week before the board meetings, but if you're talking about one sooner than that, then that's.
Chris, when will you be available?
Conflicts.
Chris is flexible, I'm flexible, Carl?
So do we want to maybe think about like next Monday night or something like that?
That
Monday
would
night
work for me.
seems to be a good night for everybody.
Sounds good to me.
Work session that next,
Next Monday, I'm out of town Monday,
yeah,
15th.
What about
maybe go-
two following Monday?
well,
2 weeks out.
2 weeks out,
What day is it?
22nd. You all right there? Everybody else? 6:30.
6.
6?
That's all I have.
All right. Jack, you everything?
Just kind of bring it up, tires of the car is getting pretty low. I'm gonna try to hold it off as long as I can until the emergency. The other thing is the lift station on the north end of town. We brought up that controller, we got it running, got the pump in, but the control panel is bad. So the guys are still having to run it by hand. Replacement control panel is $1,500. Or y'all can replace the whole box and get rid of all the useless stuff for $3,000. I mean, me, myself, I would suggest just replacing the control board right now and get it back up running as quick as possible. But just whenever y'all want to do that.
Hold up to wait until the work session today.
Yeah.
Have one sign up, Kathy?
I heard that somebody was trying to get a state audit.
What?
A state audit. And I'm here to tell you that when that woman said the state audit would be $30,000 to $50,000, this town cannot afford a state audit. And this town doesn't need a state audit. This town needs a CPA to do a yearly audit like we're required by law. And it costs about $3,000 a year. And the CPA will tell you if you're doing something, just like the deal over the minutes. Just like the deal over the minutes. When, what was his name, Red Brothers, is that his name, was on the board? Remember he threw that fit? Because he wanted everything word for word? And the state auditor said, don't do that. Don't do that. Because what you hear and what your tape hear may not be what somebody else hears, and you're gonna have nothing but trouble out of it. If you try to do word for word, you make sure you've got the gist of the conversation, and who opposed it, and who agreed with it. Now, that's what the auditors told me. And I called them through disbelief to make sure. But that's what they told me, because you can get yourself into so much trouble, especially when there's 47 people trying to talk over each other when temperatures get up. That's what they told me. Also, as far as the bills being added up on this, I don't know how Heather does it, but used to, I kept a folder of bills to be paid every month, because once a month I paid bills. And you had a folder that said bills to pay. And when you got them all wrote out and paid, then you wrote your check number on there and the date you paid it and everything. Then you put it in the folder that says paid bills, and then when you got time, you went back and you put them in the ABCD, how you do it. Out of the general fund and out of the water and sewer fund. And anybody up here is free to go to the city hall and ask to see the bills at any time. You can, like Casey's gonna have to go in there once a month, since you made him financial officer, right? Casey's gonna have to go in there once a month to go through all the bills, and he'll have to initial them. And if you have a treasurer, they're supposed to go through them and initial them too, to show that they went through and looked at them. But any one of y'all can go up there at any time and look through those bills. That's your right. That's your, Mike knows, he's been treasurer before, that's your right. You can go up there and ask to look at anything up there, that's just the way it is. And also, I got wind the other day that somebody down on my street was told Casey that they heard he was padding his pocket, Carl Jean there. The guy that was my brother-in-law before my sister-in-law died. Lives right across the street from me and helps take care of us old decrepit women down there on that street. And they told him he was padding his pocket because they didn't agree with what he did up here at the board meeting. I'm here to tell every damn one of you, that man over there is one of the most honest men I've ever seen. And every time it rains, pours down rain, he's out there cleaning the ditches out, all the way down the street to the big ditch down there. And I know some of you are frowning because you don't like me, but I don't care. That man there is a good man, and I don't hear nobody else say nothing about him padding his pocket. Or else you're gonna have to meet about it.
ditches.
Huh? That's right. But you don't see none of the rest of them out there cleaning ditches. But he's out there every time that he's padding his pocket. That's right. That's all I got to say. CPA instead of $50,000 for a state.
Mama, who hates you, that's pitiful.